It's me, Lori. Today I wanted to talk to you about names and numbers and living in that flow and what certain numbers mean, what names mean and that kind of thing. So if you are going down the right path and you're raising your vibration and you kind of in the flow, in the right flow, going on the right path. You're open to God. You're hearing God. You're and not necessarily an audio voice. If you're not hearing voices, that's okay. But if you're kind of getting the messages, whether you feel them, hear them, see them, but you're getting the messages. You're going along the right path. Your vibration is high, and you're living in the flow. That doesn't mean life's going to be perfect. In fact, we've talked about attacks and how attacks are going to come at you from all different angles. So if life isn't perfect, that doesn't mean you're not in the will of God. So many people say, oh, well, things are going so bad, you must not be in the will of God. That's not necessarily true, because you're going to have attacks from all angles. What I would say is, if your vibration is high, if you know in your heart that you're on the right path, you have a peace about you, and you're not against anything that God says is true. So if God says it's true and you're not living against it, a lot of times when we're outside his will, we make excuses. We say, oh, well, but God would understand this, or but God would want this for me, or something along that line. If you find yourself saying that, you might want to rethink where you're going, what you're doing. But if you're within his will and you're doing what he wants, he's going to provide the way. He's going to provide the means. But don't expect everything to be smooth sailing. That is a big mistake that a lot of people make. And because of that, they make the wrong choices. Everything seems to be going smooth. Everything's going more than smooth. Great blessings are happening, or so you think. But then when you get to where you want to be and it all falls apart, it's because you were not in the will of God. Anyway, that's off topic. I don't want to go there. But let's say that you're living within that will. Your vibration is high. You've got that peace. You know that you're in the right direction. You're being guided by the Holy Spirit. You're moving right along. Even under attack, whatever it is, you have the peace of Jesus Christ. And you'll know the difference between the peace of the world and the peace of Jesus Christ, because it surpasses all understanding. What it means is you could be going through devastating tragedy and you still have that peace, and you know you're along the right path. So in this, you're going to have different things happen. Synchronicity. The universe is made up in a certain way. Numbers are really important, supernaturally, spiritually. Even in the Bible, we see a lot of references to numbers. When God talks about building something, he talks about specific cubits and units and measurements. And there's different times, different numbers that mean different things. And I know that a lot of people will ask me, well, what does this number mean? I keep seeing this. What does this number mean? And there are meanings to numbers. And if you can kind of grasp on to these messages, because sometimes the angels will give us messages through numbers. And if we're aware, if we walk in awareness, we're going to see these things. Again, your life isn't going to be perfect. As long as you're here, it's not going to be perfect. But you can pick up the messages and you can kind of see where you messed up and made poor choices. You can kind of jump right back on track. You can see if you're going in the right track, on the right track. You can get the messages. You can kind of know what to look for. So first I'm going to start though with names and the power of the tongue. Our tongue, fairly small in comparison to the rest of our body, but you know what? It really is. It's kind of like steering a boat. You've got this, I don't know what they call it on a boat, but the controls of the boat. It's small in comparison to the rest of the boat, but this little whatever, the wheel or whatever it is, and I'm sure people will tell me what it's called, can move a whole ship. It's kind of like our tongue, okay? What we think is important because it creates energy and puts it out there, but what we speak is even more important. The vibration is stronger, it's higher. It calls to action things much quicker. And you know what's in your heart by what you speak. Some people will say or want put on this facade that they want only good. But then when you hear them talk, they're gossipy, or they use profanity a lot, or their speech is just, you hear it in their speech. They put these things out there that are negative, and you know that their heart's not in the right place. Our speech is very, very important. So don't speak out negatives. Even if you're feeling really negative, don't speak out negatives. And if you catch yourself, as quickly as possible, send out a positive. Don't put out, oftentimes when we want something, a good relationship, say you want a good relationship, and you keep saying, I'm lonely, I can't find the right relationship, every relationship I get into doesn't end well. Those are negative statements, and you put them out there, so that's exactly where you're going to stay. Same thing with a name. You know, when you call yourself something, even pet names, we have to be careful. I know a lot of times people have pet names for people and they're derogatory, but it's a term of endearment. It's all in fun, especially for children. But what you're doing is you're putting that energy into that child. It's something to think about before you actually name a child, but not only just their legal name or their given name, but nicknames, okay? Same goes for what you call yourself. What do you call yourself? Not even just your name, but what do you title yourself? Do you say, I'm not good at blah, blah, blah. I'm such a loser. I'm such a klutz. I hear a lot of people say, I'm klutzy, or I'm dingy, or, I'm dumb. And even if they're joking, you're putting that out there. You're putting that out there. It's going to leave you where you are. So we have to be extremely cautious with our tongues, okay? Now let's get to the fun part, the numbers. Have you ever been thinking, praying, talking to God, and then you see, like on a clock, you keep seeing 1111 or 111? It only 1111 only happens twice a day, but you just happen to see it every time it comes up, or 111, or 222, or 333, or you see on a license plate 555, or you keep seeing numbers wherever you go. I know how important numbers are, and the messages that come with them. So I find myself, like, even at gas pumps, I don't like to go to a gas pump that's a number that would be kind of a lower vibration. And I don't want to give the wrong idea. I look at certain numbers as of a lower vibration, but they aren't necessarily. It's kind of just how I've gotten my messages over the years. So certain numbers to me mean a certain thing, but not necessarily to you. And I'm going to give you some meanings of the numbers, but as you get to know your guardian angel, as you get to know how God communicates with you, some of them might mean something different for you. So I'm just going to give you kind of a generalization. A lot of people talk about 1111. 1111 or 111. And if you think about it, so 1111 kind of looks like a gate, right? So what 1111 means is your angels are telling you a couple different things. You're on the right track. You've reached the gate. You're just about to cross over into where you want to be. You're at the beginning of your journey. You've reached the gate. Okay, so think about it. 1111, right? You're at the gate. It could also mean a yes answer. 1111 is a high vibration. 11 is a master number, and I'm not going to get into all numerology and stuff, but 11 is a master number. The gate to the next realm or the next step in your life. So it's always good. 1111 is always good. It could mean a yes answer. They could be telling you, we've heard you, God's heard you, and the answer is yes. It could be just the angels letting you know we're here. But most of the time it means you're on the right track. So it's a yes answer, you're on the right track, you've gotten to the gate, now move forward. Okay, 222. 22, you see it on a license plate, you see it at the time, whatever. Twos are creativity and moving past that gate. So, okay, you've made it to the gate. Now what are you going to do? It's about choices. It's about poor choices or good choices. So if you're staying within the will of God, you're going to make the right choices. But it's kind of, if you see it, they have either told you you've just crossed that gate and now you need to make choices. They could be warning you, pay attention to the choices you're making. They could be telling you, depending on what comes with it, what the scenario is with it. Did you make a poor choice? They could be telling you you made a good choice. So we pay attention when we see the numbers, we pay attention to the numbers, but we also think, what have we been asking God for? What have we been talking about? What have we been questioning? And also, what are the other situations going on? Like if you just made a choice where you think, oh, it might not be good, and then 222 keeps showing up, you might want to rethink your choice. Okay. 3 3 3 3. If you see a series of threes, 3 is a very high vibrational number, even higher than 111 or 1111, because it's the number of Jesus. It's the number of the Trinity. It's also the number of life, father, mother, child. So it's a high vibrational energy. It's the family. It's completion. It's all we need for life. It's the number of life. It also means blessings. It means Jesus is here. It means really good things. So if you're in a negative situation and you happen to see 333, 333, 333, know that you're protected. Know that Jesus is there. Know that God is with you. Now, we know that God's always with us, but this is kind of a reminder. Hey, we're here. It's also, like I said, Father, Mother, Child, the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Family, one unit. It's always good. 333 is always good. 4 4, it's one of those numbers, like if I pull up to a gas station, I try to stay away from 4. And the only reason is not that it's necessarily a lower vibrational number. It's not. But it means hard work. It means, okay, now's the part for the work to begin. So if you've crossed the gate, now you've gotten 1111, the answer is yes, go forward. But then you start seeing a series of 4s, unless there's another reason for it. Like if it's your birthday, if your birthday's 4494 or 4424 or whatever, 4404, it might mean something different to you. Or if it's an anniversary or the anniversary of somebody's death. But if it means nothing to you and it's just a series of 4s, take it as work. Now the work begins. It may be this is going to be harder work than you thought. So just kind of go with what's happening around it, but it represents work. 5 is another excellent number. I love 5. 5 means either communication. So if you see a series of 5s and you've been wanting to talk to someone, expect that communication to happen. It also is the number of grace. I love 5 because it's the number of grace. It means grace is here. You have been provided with grace to fulfill whatever you need to do. So usually when 5 starts showing up, there's some miracles in the works, or doors are opening up. You're living by grace. It's a great number. I love 5s. I try to stay with 5s. Usually the communication is good. Now if it's about communication, even if it's going to be a negative communicative thing, you're also under grace. So don't be afraid of 5s ever. 5s are good. 6s are another one that I try to stay away from. Again, not bad, but 6 stands for human beings, man. Okay, like man was created, I think, on the 6th day. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please don't, bombard me with comments. But it does stand for man, for humanness, okay? And what do we know about humanness? Human error. We're not perfect. When you were talking grace and then we go to humanness, it could mean there's some mistakes there. It could mean to kind of relook at things. It's not bad. It's just kind of one of those numbers where you're like, okay, they could be telling you, hey, you're only human. If you're feeling bad about yourself, they might be saying, hey, you're only human. Take it easy, One thing I got to tell you is if you're seeing these numbers, even if it's a hard time, you're being communicated with in very concrete ways. So none of these numbers are bad. It's just Some of them I have grown. I've been paying attention to this stuff for so many years. I have my own kind of little personal takes on these. The number seven. The number seven is another awesome number. It is, again, it's a number of Jesus. It's a number of God, source, higher power, creativity, burst of creativity, um, happiness, supernatural. Okay, 777. Seven's a great number. So it's like where we have six as human, we have seven as God. Okay, and eight I always take as financial. Some people don't. I've always taken eight as financial. So depending on what goes with it, I would say, they're either telling you to watch your finances, finances are coming in. It's also infinity. If you turn an eight around, it's infinity. So if you're asking about a relationship and you start seeing eights, either you're about to meet a millionaire or infinity. It's right. It's an infinite relationship. It could be, talking about God is infinite. It could be, yes, this is a deeper level than what you're thinking. So, but I usually, if there's something financial going on, usually I get answers with eight. Nine is kind of one of those numbers where some people go, oh, no, no, no. Nine is good. It's what's meant to be. I think the only people that get worried about nines are people that feel still guilty that about something that they might have done, and they think, oh no, now I'm getting my payback. I don't necessarily look at it as payback, but it is about the law of cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's also what's meant to be. I don't like to use the word karma. I do believe in the law of cause and effect. I do believe that what you put out there kind of comes back to you. Karma, and I'll get into that in a different topic one day, but I just don't like to use that word. But that's what nine is about. And then, of course, we go into the double digits, and the double digits, you just refer back to the single digits, okay? Zeros aren't really anything. I wouldn't take them to mean anything. If you're seeing repetitive zeros in a row, I would ask for more information from my angels, from God. And remember that the angels are working for God. So if they're sending you messages, those messages are coming from God. Very, very important. Numbers are really, really interesting. So if you're seeing these numbers, you're getting these messages, pay attention to them. And if you have no idea what's going on at the time, like, why would I be seeing twos? Why would I be seeing ones? Write it down. Okay, so today I saw 111. Today I looked at the clock both times at 11:11. Today I was talking to God and I looked at the clock and it was 3:33. Or I was talking to God and I looked over and the license plate said 44444. Whatever the case may be. And write them down and try to put it together. Sometimes you won't know right away, but synchronicity. This universe is built on synchronicity. And the closer we are to God and the more we're walking in his path and the higher our vibration is and we've let go of false beliefs and we're living in the flow of things, we're going to get these messages. We'll be able to use them and kind of not necessarily know what's next, but use it as a way that the all-knowing one is communicating with us, giving us warnings, giving us praise, telling us we're doing a good job, or telling us, hey, back off, that's not right. So we can live in that flow. Now, let me tell you something about living in that flow. If you get 11111, you're at the gate, right? Let's go back to the gate. Now, 2, okay, make your decisions, make your choices, think carefully. When you hit the 3s or higher, like 333, remember, 3 is the number of Jesus. If you're seeing 3s constantly, you are there. So now what I want you to do, examine your motives. You always need to examine your motives. That's why I tell my students to keep a journal, even of whatever happened in one day. Stuff, when you find yourself, at least myself, If you don't like to write, talk into your phone or a recorder or something. But I find that if you record the day's events, you may see where maybe you went wrong or you went right during the day. And what we're doing is kind of self-checking ourselves. So let's see, I was driving in traffic and I lost my temper. That's something I got to get in check. Okay, Lord, I know that's not what you want for me. I'm sorry about that. I hand that over to you. I repent of that and I will do my best not to do it again. Please bring it to my attention if I start to be that way. And you're going to find all of these. You're going to be able to let them go at the moment and you're going to keep your vibration high. You're going to stay on the right path. You're going to, some of these things might just slip by if we don't keep ourselves in check. And then later we go, oh gosh, look what I did. I didn't mean to do that. There's been 6 months of me doing this kind of stuff. And we all fall into that where, hindsight is 2020 and we go, oh, but if we can kind of keep our spiritual life in check, everything else, you're going at a high vibration, everything else is you'll find it's in check. There are going to be things that you used to think were okay that you don't think are okay anymore. There's going to be things that you used to be comfortable with and you're not going to be comfortable with anymore because now your vibration is higher. So the lower energetic activities or the lower vibrational activities or people or events or even entertainment, you'll be like, oh, I'm not interested in that anymore. You may not even notice right away, but this is what happens the higher you go. So if you're at that 3, I guess my whole point is at that 3, now you can call to yourself those things that you need. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be like those quote unquote gurus and tell you that it's you doing it. God created the universe this way. Certain things mean, certain laws are in effect, and that's the way they work. The only one that can bend those laws is God himself. And he will if that's what the situation takes. But we got to remember that he's sovereign. So what we want to do is follow him on the right path. And then if we're seeing numbers, if we're seeing names, if we find that we can call something what it is, and then it comes to us. So what we're going to see is God is going to we'll be able, it's almost like reaching out. Okay, I need this. I need this. I need this. I just don't want you to think you're doing it in your own power because you're not. That's the difference between me and most teachers that teach this is I believe that God is my everything. God is our everything. And we shouldn't even try to do anything in our own power because we're going to mess it up. So anyway, pay attention to the numbers. If you're at a 3 or higher vibration, you're in. That goes to infinity. You can reach out and grab what you need. Remember, God told us that he's here to take care of us. He's not a genie in a bottle, okay? It's not like he says, okay, your wish is my command. No. He's God. But he did say, don't worry about your life. Don't worry about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, where you're going to live. Don't worry about those things. Just worry about me and I'll take care of the rest. And we need to trust him on that. We really do. If you live in the United States or any part of the Western world, you're rich in comparison to the rest of the world. But I know the daily struggle. It's not just about money. We have struggles with relationship. We have struggles with low self-esteem. Change your vocabulary. Change your thoughts, change your vocabulary. When you turn to God, your heart changes anyway. And pay attention to those messages. Because you know what? Life doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be a series of difficult situations. No matter what happens, some people are just not going to be nice people. But we can get through it with that peace. And, money, believe it or not, is one of the easiest things to kind of call forth. When it comes to people and what their decisions are, things can get a little more tricky because we can't, even God himself is not going to make somebody do something. So if it involves another person and it's not all on you making the decisions, it can sometimes we just have to accept that it's not going to be the way we want it to be. But money, material things are really the easiest things to call forth if we're at the right vibration. I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, definitely email me. Answers for you. So it's answers, the number 4, YOU 16 at gmail.com. Have a great day, guys.